again, thank you all for your support for our special 2 episodes that we actually put a lot of time into, and we had a great.
We really did, Daryl. You really did, yeah. Oh. It's hard to. I was just talking to my best friend back home, and she listens to our podcast, even though she's like, I love hearing about the place you live. And then she's like, I haven't caught up on the last few. And she was talking about Jeju Sasam, and she was like, it just seems like such a topic. And then we started talking about our primer and how much. I was like, listen to this so you can really understand. I said, but just know that that's just like a tip of the iceberg. That it's not even covering how extensive. Yeah.
Like I think about how to try to talk about the massacre. Like I'm writing about it currently. I'm trying to. I've interviewed people. I'm trying to put their stories into short story kind of form, but nonfiction. And how do I convey what the massacre was and how, to people who don't know about it, right? Like in English, it's very difficult.
Constantly. And so like you said, and Daryl, you really put a lot of work into that, because you can't just take this big subject and then you'd be like, okay, we're just going to give you the highlights, which is what we attempted to do. So I hope everyone really felt educated by that.
And just so you guys know, I follow a couple of specific hashtags about the massacre: Jeju 4-3, Jeju massacre, Jeju uprising, Jeju incident. And so I see all the tweets. Anybody who mentions those words, I see all those tweets.
They come through,
It's interesting to note that in English, the only time people really talk about the massacre is to blame America, to support communism, or those are the main, to say that, or to bash South Korea. Like some Chinese people mention it offhandedly in the debates about, Hamburg or whatever. There's just the feud between them.
Let's not even get into that. Okay.
Look at all the massacres that South Korea did to themselves. And then you got...
Oh, so real derogatory. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. People never it's very infrequently mentioned just on its own. It's always used as evidence in an argument, which I always thought was interesting. And people get the information wrong all the time because
that's fascinating.
Because
I only follow especially on Instagram. So I follow the dark tours, the 4-3, because I want to see what ceremonies they're holding, and they'll do educational posts. So, but that's only obviously
pictures,
educational, and so I don't. Wow, that's really interesting to. Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but talking about that, you were just talking to me. You have President Moon came again, huh?
Well, no, actually, President Moon didn't came. He gave remarks. It was President-elect. Yeah,
because you had said something, and I thought that would be really strange that they both came.
Yeah,
at the same. Okay, so he didn't come this year.
Yeah, we published on our Instagram account. Please like and subscribe. About the speech, his remarks, which are his final remarks about Sasam. He came 3 times, right?
He came,
and he was the first
president,
since Roe came, right? And he came which is 12 years after or something ridiculous.
Yeah, remind our listeners what do you remember the year that he came down?
2018,
and it wasn't even 2018, and it wasn't even. And to remind, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm often wrong because it gets all mixed up in my head. But he didn't even come down for 3. It was the peace talks.
Oh, you're talking about the first apology?
Yeah.
That was on October 31st. 2003. He gave an apology then, and then I think in 2006 he came for the first time to the park.
Okay, gotcha.
And then the next time was Moon.
Yeah, Moon. I felt especially I really want to talk about that. Thank you for translating, by the way, for our listeners. Daryl translated that. He and his family, right? Translated that from
just me, just
yours.
Really?
Truly. Oh, hey.
And Google.
Yeah, Google translated that from Korean to English. And I'll tell you what, I felt especially I felt a little choked up reading what Moon had to say. Yeah. I remember very clearly when the first time he came down here, and it was a really big deal for him to come and go to the Peace Park and be part of the 4-3 ceremony.
Yeah.
And so now that his term is over, 5 years has ended, and for him to just I felt quite choked up about it. I thought that was really touching. Yeah. What was his last thing he said? I wish I had it in front of me. Sorry, listeners, but it was just in the last 5 years, it's been an honor to come, to come down.
Yeah, to be a part of Jeju 4-3.
He really under his, not just him, but his oh God,
administration.
My brain. Thank you. My brain just shut up. But under him and his administration, there was a lot of progress. That was made, and it's really important to, no matter what your politics are, it's really important to acknowledge that he really impacted.
His party passed the revision to the, which is really bureaucratic, and a lot of people, like, the articles don't really mention what it means because it's just bureaucracy, but it does affect people here, and it has to work for compensation.
Greatly affect.
But Yoon came. Yoon came, which is Yoon Suk-yeol, the president-elect, came, and this was actually
also really important,
super important, because he's the first conservative president. Like Park. I can't believe I can't remember her name. Daughter of Park Chung-hee.
I was like, oh,
the disgrace, the once jailed, recently released Park. I can't think of her name. So Yoon came, and that was like first conservative president to visit the ceremony, and it signals that, like, going forward, like, it'll be a thing if they don't come at least once, right?
I agreed. It's kind of laying down again that this needs to happen.
And apparently it was a campaign promise he made in February that he would come here as part of it, and he gave like the same speech, like it sounds cliched to me, but it doesn't to people here when he say things like restore the honor, because that's just not in our vocabulary, in our sort of way. Westerners.
But I do, having lived here, and you know this, having lived here for so long, you do start to recognize that way of speaking, which is obviously important. And I think, anyways, to focus on, I don't find I don't find him a great speaker.
What?
Per se.
Korea's Trump? You don't think of him as a great orator?
Again, in my head, I'm like, don't make anyone angry. No, I don't find him a great speaker. What I really focused on was that I was just pleased that he showed, and he made that, he made that something. He kept his promise in the campaign. He came down, and all I focus on is Jeju needs that. The survivors need that
very much.
So that's what I kind of keep in mind. Never mind his awkward
well, the Association of Bereaved Families of Jeju 4-3 actually commented on what you were saying, that they said that national integration begins from accepting the healing of the past, right? And this has been a party.
That's good. Yes.
Isn't that great?
That hasn't acknowledged and hasn't.
And
we talked about that in our we talked about that in our primer episode where it just is, when they had decided that they wanted to come down, to say something, the other party wanted to rewrite his apology.
Oh no, they wanted to they had a lot of things about the report,
the draft, right?
And then 18 people of the committee like resigned the day it was accepted in protest, right? Because it blamed the military and police, and so it's a really big deal. I mean, really, it really is. So it was nice to see that that's the way he's starting off his his term. I'll try to get his speech and put it up too. It's a little more difficult because, like, on President Moon, he's the president, so it's on there's like a website and stuff. He didn't. Not.
He's got the Twitter as well.
Yeah, if you go to Yoon's Twitter right now, actually, as of this recording, his latest tweet is from April 3rd in Jeju of the tombstones and of Hala, and of cherry blossoms and things like that. So if you go check his Twitter,
I will.
Tweets again.
Well, they'll be putting him on the national service, right? Soon.
They'll be changing the website.
Over his account. Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. Right.